Welcome back to the pregame. Time now for our talk with Coach Butch Pedersen, presented by Main Street Suites. Coach, big senior night win, 28-12 over Wilton last Friday night to close out the regular season.
I mean, a really good effort on our kids' part. I thought we played hard, and Wilton played hard. They're a very good football team, and I thought it turned out the way we wanted to. I wanted to have a fairly tough game going into our first playoff game, and we got that.
Yeah, and great way to springboard into that. Andy Henson, a career night, 230-whatever yards, 4 touchdowns. And, I mean, he's a kid that he'll do whatever you ask of him, and it's good to see that success for him on Friday night.
Just a phenomenal running back, just a phenomenal person. He is a great leader on this football team. He's a junior, but yet he's definitely one of our bell cows, and he really, really does a lot of things well for us.
Well, and one of the most important things was as soon as that game got done and we talked to him about it, he said, 230 yards, but it's because of those 5, 6, 7 guys in front of me. He's quick to deflect that credit to those guys that have come a long ways here, that offensive line.
And his mom and dad are the same way. I mean, every time you talk to mom and dad, it's a situation where that line was really doing well and the line was doing this. And he's a hard runner. He gets some of the yardage by himself, but he's never going to admit that.
Well, and then also on that offensive side, Carver Belk, he's a guy that, kind of jumped into that quarterback spot. We've talked about him throughout the year, and it's just nice to see some of the progression he's done. And, he's not necessarily going to be putting up world-class numbers that make you say, wow, but when you watch how he manages the game and plays the position, you can see a lot of growth this year.
Oh, there's no question about it. From the beginning until now, he is getting better all the time. He's got some room to improve, as we all do, but, I'm really happy with him. He's very coachable, and sometimes at the beginning of the year, he's afraid to make a mistake, and now he goes out, and if it's a mistake, go to the next play. And that's the kind of mentality that you have to have.
Well, you mentioned the tougher schedule in these last 3 or 4 weeks. We've seen some pretty tough competition. Something that hasn't bent, though, is that defense. They've been able to find ways to get things done, and it seems like that group is just super hungry each and every night.
There's no question about it. I think their average is under 13 points a game for the season, and that's pretty salty at this point, but we're never really satisfied. We always want even better, and I know Tyler's been on them pretty hard this week, and they should be, and we're going to get better. There's some things that we've shown on tape the last couple weeks that we have not liked that really have improved over the last couple days.
Well, and one of the other things I noticed just kind of looking at the flow from that game, and, we had the ball 8 times, and if you take away right before half, right at the end of the game, we had 6 possessions, scored on 4 of them, and we drove down, turned it over on downs in Wilton territory on 2. On the flip side, Wilton had the ball, I think, 7 times and came away with points twice. Those are things that are going to be even more important heading into the postseason is valuing possessions both ways.
Oh, there's no question about it. We want to make sure that we control the clock as far as possessions are concerned, and ball security, penalties, those are also some things that you have to have, and field positions is huge. The field position game is going to be huge in any playoff game that you're in.
Yep. Well, the win meant that we get second in the district. We get to stay at home. A lot nicer to be on the friendly confines rather than having to sit on a bus for 1, 2, 3 hours wherever we would end up.
And we had talked to them all week about that. And, they didn't want that to be their last game, and it hasn't been. And we're now going to have Cardinal Wilton, and they're a good football team. I think the best offensive team we've seen this year. Very, very, very good on offense. They throw the ball well. They have a lot of other things that they do extremely well. And we're working extremely hard this week to try to take away some of the things they like to do.
Well, we said it's not necessarily the same Cardinal team that we played 15, 20 years ago. They are much improved. It's going to be a good challenge for us. So.
Oh yeah, I mean that we used to go down there, and they, unfortunately for those kids, they weren't really good, to be honest with you. But now they're good. They've really come a long way, and I'm happy for them. It'd be pretty hard to get beat all the time, but they are not doing that now, and they've got a very good football program and a very good football team, and it's going to be a big challenge for us.
We're looking forward to it. Coach, thanks very much for joining us.
All right, thank you.
That is Coach Butch Pedersen, presented by Main Street Suites. We'll be back with more of the pregame right after this. You're listening to the Bearcast at westbranch.football.